Hi. Hello. I was trying to get all my yawns up before I started, but that did not work. Oh, goodness. Hello. Happy Thursday. I have so much music playing in the background. 1 second. Sound 0. Oh, that's so much better. Okay. Casually turning the game audio off in the background so I can have some peace. Oh my goodness. To forever. Not forever. For a couple of hours. Which is basically forever. If you think about it. If you were a bug, that's basically forever. Your entire life could be one stream. If you were a bug. Hi. Hello, folks. Happy Thursday. No idea what Necrobarista is, but it sounds like something that's right up your alley. It sounds like something you'd like. I don't even remember how I found this game. So yeah, Necrobarista is what we're playing today. Is a visual novel. So we will be gabbing, we will be reading. So we'll see how long my stamina lasts. But like, I don't even remember how I found this game. I think I literally just saw it on Steam or something and just kind of grabbed it and was like, you look interesting. Grab, like, I know like nothing about the game. All I know is it's like, it's a visual novel. There's probably some like puzzling or like walk around segments from the trailer that I was looking at. But this is just like a really blind playthrough where I kind of just saw the vibe and the art style and I was like, yeah, I'll probably like that. Yeah, sure, why not? It's been a while since I've just bought a game so blindly. If I was a bug, I would still subscribe to Pixel Gamer somehow. Oh my god, thanks. I wonder how many subscribers I have on platforms that are just bug. Sorry, I thought about YouTube, and I thought about that YouTube comment I got earlier today that I was telling you about, Noelle. And I laugh every time I think about it. Like, it's not super worth even talking about, but like, oh my god, was it so funny. Hi, Rocky. Oh, and congrats to Cinco for getting first. And Cinco also hit 10 logins. I think Cinco is our second to hit the 10 mark. Every time I drink from the— ooh, my arm. Can we at least talk about it? Yes, we can, because it's gotten funnier. Wait, a third person joined the bit. So what's being referenced is on one of my shorts on YouTube, someone just commented, what was it exactly? Which short is it? You guys are gonna hear my YouTube shorts in the background for like 2 seconds. Bear with me. Nightmare Pizza. Is it this one? Yeah. So out of all of them, it's the FNAF pilled one. And they just commented, are you a part of LGBTQ by any chance? And I kind of like, I was just like, do I respond to this? And I was like, you know what? I am gonna respond to it, and if they just respond something dickish, I'll just remove the comment. I don't care. I'm not above that. So I responded to that. This is one of the funniest possible ways you could have asked. Yes. So Noelle just commented the exact same thing, word for word. Are you a part of the LGBTQ by any chance? And then a third person did the exact same thing. So now there's just 3 comments that all say the exact same thing. That person never got back to me, by the way. Whatever they wanted, why ever they wanted to know that, I never got a follow-up. Not yet, at least. But yeah, I got another, like, dumb comment today that made me laugh so badly. And I wanted to respond to it so badly, but I know better, right? Because, like, it's so much easier and more satisfying to me to delete dumb comments and stuff like that. Like, I'm not above it. I will just, like, I don't care if it's banning or delete. Like, I will just wipe your ass off the planet. Like, I don't care. I'll just do it. But like there was a part of me that was like, oh, I want to respond to it just a little bit because it would be funny if I did. But I didn't. I considered that comment existed for 30 seconds, and 20 of those seconds was me considering responding before nuking it off the face of the planet. Ah, my goodness. I now understand VTubers who have like hand tracking and face tracking. I now understand why some of them probably like have water bottles with straws. Because I'm sure if you drink, I thought about every time I drink water on stream and I see my tracking, I think about this. But now I will verbalize this thought. I realize that probably so many of them have straws for drinking water out of water bottles because it, you know, looks better and doesn't look like it still preserves some form of illusion or something like that. And then there's me with my big like 1 liter ass water bottle, and I just it tracks surprisingly well. If I just put a water bottle in this hand, it would be perfect. Oh my goodness. But yes, so we're doing Necrobarista today, which, as I've been saying, visual novel, I kind of just found it. I don't know how I found it or something. I just kind of found it and bought it, which is not usually my speed. This was like a game I took a gamble on. I think it looks neat. It's a visual novel. So like a lot of reading and story stuff and everything, which I tend to stray away from, as I've talked about, because I don't tend to have a lot of stamina for voice acting or reading, which is why if I do play like visual novels or certain types of games on this channel, they are almost exclusively voice acted or have like minimal voice acting required with reading and everything. So this will be a bit different, but I know this game isn't like mega long, all things considered. I'm thinking, depending on how my stamina is, we'll probably end up doing roughly half of it today, half of it on another stream. But yeah. It's a neat little thing, so we'll see how it goes. Wahoo! Wahoo! I feel like recently my energy has been so sleepy. Yippee! I don't know if y'all have noticed, I feel like I've been so sleepy on streams, or like lower energy. I'm just hyper vigilant about that because I'm like, oh no, I need to sleep more. Oh, you can see the beautiful menu where I muted the game. It's a good soundtrack. It's just when I have the music playing for the introduction. Maybe a little, but it's okay. Wow, thanks. Wow, you're so nice to me. I'm gonna turn off the Hudson soft music. Turn on the video game music. This game is luckily loud as shit. Which means you guys can hear it with your eardrums so good and well. All right, let me just double check that this... Perfect. Baby. He makes me so happy. He's like a lump of tofu. I gotta stop playing with him, but like... I definitely... Maybe in the future I should like... I think I should get him like a hat. Like instead of having seasonal outfits, some holidays BB can... Jay would hate me. Jay would hate me if I did that. Oh! Oh.
Tired in the streets, sleepy in the sheets.
Wait, I'm so sorry. Everyone bear with me. I just thought of something. Can I attach objects to him? Wait, hold on. Pause. This is so important all of a sudden. Let me add a prop. We're testing something in real time. Okay, let me get a prop. Oh, okay. Anchor to character. Anchor... Is BB a bone? Is he a bone? No, I don't think he is. Okay, how much can I finagle this? Because he's not a bone. Transform path? Oh, ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, wait. I can attach it to a rig piece. Where's BB's rigging? I found a keychain rigging, but where's his rigging? BB chain, BB chain. Oh my god, please. Please tell me. Oh my god, there's so many rigging bones in my hair. Holy crap. I haven't looked, but I'm looking under the hood of this model right now. Come on, he has to have... There's the arm. Oh my god, does he not? There has to be a way for me to attach objects to, like, him. He has to have, like, a bone or something, right? Now we know why Jane is making the hair. It's such complicated hair is the thing. It's so complicated. And for what? And for bounce, that's why. Okay. I think I'm not gonna show you the thing I'm meaning to show you guys, but I'm gonna show you a different funny thing that I played around with. Oh, it's so tiny. Wait. Wait. This is a dumb thing I found out I could do before the debut. Is if I place objects in my head and like do you want to see the scarier one? Wait, let me show you the scarier version of this. Oh, he's less scary. The lighting makes him less scary. Oh. Oh god, I think it's so funny that I can just look like I'm wearing a little mascot head. And you can see the fin in the back. Okay, this is not what I wanted, but oh, maybe I could figure this out in the future. Because I'm thinking if I can figure out if he has a bone or something in him, right? I could just make the attach point on the model his bone, and then I can put hats or objects on him without Jay having to model or do anything to like anything crazy to the actual model. I can just do it in Warudo. But I don't know if I can or not. God, that's so funny. One sec, we're playing toys for a second. Perfect if you ever play Promise Mascot Agency again? You're right. I need to delete this. I need to delete the prop or else I'm gonna get so distracted. Just playing. I've like barely used the props for anything, and that is a dangerous game if I get into it, especially right now. Oh god, I love them. It's so goofy. I love you, Warudo. Alright, let's actually get into this. This is the final poor version, because they actually put out a bunch of apparently free content updates. So there's like a few chapters or episodes that were added to the game for free. I could see that on the Steam page. Alright. Let us get into this. Going into this blind is so funny because I'm making a lot of assumptions about what this game is about. Oh, itty bitty, I can do that. They thought of the faraway grave on the plain. They thought of the comrade who came not again. They lifted their glasses and sadly they said, "We drink to the name of the mate who is dead." Henry Lawson. Let me get the boy really quickly. I keep getting tempted to make Itty Bitty more expensive again, so he's summoned less, but every time I think that, I'm like, why do I want him summoned less? He honestly does not get in the way as much as I feared he would. Usually he's pretty polite and he sits in his corners. Like so. So he doesn't need to be punished by the economics of the points. It's too bloody damp down here. I know we're underground, but I don't suppose there are any windows we could open? There's a ventilation duct in here somewhere. Maddie, mind opening it up, get some fresh air circulating? Other end's blocked right now. There's a dumpster sitting on top of it. You'll have to grin and bear it. Yeah, he's a good lad. He sticks to the sides. Can we hurry this up? Calm your farm, old man. You're well aware it takes a while to set up. I don't appreciate your tone. Sorry. At the very least, can we turn some lights on? With all the rubbish you've got scattered around the place, I'd like to at least know where I'm putting my feet. Ashley, would you mind? Ooh, okay. This looks vaguely concerning. Thanks. You're more organized than last time, I see. Practice makes perfect. Hey, Maddie, how much more wire do we need? I think that's enough. Great. Now, Shay, what's up, little P? I found you a chair. Ah, thank you. So, this whole thing, surely it's not illegal, yeah? Maddie wasn't clear on that. Yeah, the council found it confronting. For good reason, I suppose. Because it utterly upsets the natural order, mate. It's not just bureaucracy. Shush you. Most rules can be bent, after all. And Maddie has a particular fascination with breaking rules. As I'm sure you realize. Hey, don't give her all the credit. Bah. Is this related to her gambling for time? Mm-hmm. So, the transfer was the same sort of magic we're doing now, yes. Small scale, though. Doing it on a larger scale requires a bit more preparation. Council successfully suppressed all available information about that, though. For good reason. What happens if something goes wrong? Well, you don't tend to mess it up more than once. Or try it again after you fail, for that matter. Stubborn scholars notwithstanding. What do you even call this sort of magic, then? Question's irrelevant, because it's banned. Extremely cool? That's what I call it. Well, by definition, it's a conduit ritual. But hey, we're among friends. So we can call it what it really is. Necromancy. Okay. Let me get comfortable. Let me know if the background music's too loud, by the way. From your hazy memories, a certain word calls out to you. Necromancy. You try desperately to remember what it meant. Time comes for us all, death. This fragment of a memory stays with you. Piece together the past, remember what transpired, and never forget you are. Scattered, practice, fascination, disheveled, bureaucracy, banned, callous, crimson, dog's dinner. Oh god. I swear to god one of those a dog's dinner. Oh. 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 I was not expecting walking? Okay. Real quick. Oh, that's cool. Sorry. Camera sensitivity go up. I want my camera to move around like it's gonna die otherwise. dog dinner is what I cooked for Wolfgang. Press and hold left mouse click to inspect a memory. Ooh, wowzers, okay. Terminal house rules. Oh, I didn't get to read that. Oh, Maddie's rules. 1. We welcome both living and dead. Patrons will be served in the order they arrive. Don't ask who's alive. It's rude. If someone wants you to know, they'll tell you. The dead have 24 hours to spend within the premises before moving on. Strictly enforced. No, we don't have Wi-Fi. Report broken items and other anomalies to staff. We can't clean up your broken glass or spatial rift if we don't know about it. Walking in my visual novel? So the funny thing is when I was reading about this game, a lot of the negative reviews were complaining about how it wasn't like an actual game. And I was like, that's a really weird thing to say about a visual novel. But like, if you look at this as like a game, then like, yeah, you're gonna be disappointed, because in reality what it is an extremely immersive and elaborate visual novel. It's just instead of stagnant like sprites, you have actual scenes like that introduction. So I think going into this as like, oh, it's a visual novel, we'll probably have a pretty, you know, good time enjoying the visuals and the aesthetics of this. Other people went into this thinking it was a more traditional game, I guess, and not a visual novel. And that like threw a lot of people off for some reason. It's like saying, well, yeah, no, legit, like, you're right. But like, ugh. Dude, the way people talk about interactive fiction and visual novels, ugh, don't even get me started. Don't even get... I have to stop saying that. I realize that saying don't even get me started is like my key up phrase for getting started. If we get to the point in a conversation where I say the words don't get me started, it means I should just give up because I will get started. Not this time though. I'm actually fine this time. We haven't tapped into the worms in my brain yet. Don't feed the... Eidolons. They can't eat, and offering them food just reminds them of that cruel fact. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. Oh, okay, the jumbled text just is the rules that we just read. Okay, we're fine. Oh. I like this cafe design. Don't get me started as pixels which you kindly. Oh, part 1. The terminal. Carlton, Victoria. Australia, 3053. Excerpt from online reviews. Pretty unremarkable coffee. Barista speaks Chinese but exclusively uses it to mock people to their faces. I am very self-conscious about my top hat now. Observe a little girl running around cafe with knife unsupervised. Came down with a deep sense of ennui after visiting. Was rudely told to stop being a big dweebus after complaining about burnt taste in coffee. The coffee's some of the best I've ever had, 5 stars. Disclosure, I have no taste buds. The door closes. Hi. Hey! Mate, you alright? Ah. You can see me? Clear as day, yeah. What can I get you? I'm a little unconscious what is ennui. If I'm remembering correctly, ennui is the word for general sense of dread, or... Is it dread? Or is... No, we're gonna do a Google here. I think it's dread, but one sec. It's either dread or peace. A feeling of listlessness and dissatisfaction. The lack of excitement. So it's kind of like the dead inside kind of dissatisfaction feeling. The sense of ennui. Yeah. I've been walking around for hours. Nobody was talking to me. I don't even know how I got in here. I think you'll find it was via the front door. Huh. Okay. Right. Where am I? This dearly departed is the terminal. Carlton's finest. Departed? They say our coffee's to die for. So, I don't really know how to go about this. Ask me anything, man. You're not the first disheveled dead guy to drop in, and I'm sure you won't be the last. What does everyone else ask? They generally ask, what does everyone else ask? Aw, shit. And they always say that. Then there's the embarrassed silence. Alright, I get it. Make a habit of bullying everyone who comes through, or just the pitiful ones. It's almost exclusively the latter. I guess that's consistent. I always felt like people saw me as a pitiful guy. Sorry, I was actually just kidding there. No, you're right, I'm a fucking sad sack. Boss hated me, family hated me, work— oh, dude. Just like everything else about me. Now, I'm never even gonna have a chance to make things better for myself. That's it. Stick a fork in me, I'm done. Hey, come on. Now I'm sitting in a cafe for dead people falling apart in front of the barista. Mate, pull it together! Number 1 rule, no breakdowns in the cafe, please. I promise, man. You are okay. I know how it is. Are you dead? No, and I don't know if you read the rules outside, but... God, I did. Yeah, I can't even get that right. In that case, you also have read that you have 24 hours left before you gotta move on to the next place. And I don't think you want to spend them having one big, long, extended panic attack. 24 hours? Oh, shit. What I'm saying is, everything's okay. Just take some deep breaths. Oh my god, they sell Earl Grey tea. And milkshakes? It is $5.90 for a coffee? That better be like an iced coffee or something real fancy, because it looks like it just says like the second half of coffee, and it's $5.90. Kombucha's $5. Tea, all $4 for a cup of tea though. That's pretty good. Give me Earl Grey. I love Earl Grey. Shout out to the Australian dollar. Just take some deep breaths. We'll sort this out. I'm sorry. I don't want to be a fuss. Cafe's empty. It's not like I've got anything else going on. Don't worry about it. Are you sure? I'm kind of a burden. You're not, promise. Chin up, mate. Tell me about the building. Or let me tell you about the building. It's got some cool history. So the first time I came here was about 4 years ago. And that's why you should never, ever serve a martini to a dead biker, even if he specifically asked for one. Huh. Out of all the possible ways to react to that, that's one I certainly didn't expect. Yeah, no point in seeking eternal vengeance if you're gonna have to leave in a few hours anyway. Kinda strips it of meaning, you know? There's no way to tell whether you'll even care once you cross over. But then again, maybe I'm just being a buzzkill about it. Shouldn't go around policing people's reactions and things. I'm still wrapping my head around all this. Deaf, that is. Feels weird to say, doesn't it? Weird. Yeah, that's the word. So, you said most people don't ever find out how they died before they pass? Even if they got murdered or something? Yep. Most people don't die from murder. It's mostly sickness, or old age, or lawnmower accidents. Well, they call them accidents, but really loads of lawnmowers are possessed by evil spirits. That said... Alright, hold on just a moment. I can't just drop that and move on. Possessed lawnmowers. Seriously. Anything with spinning blades attracts them. Gardening equipment, blenders, power saws. I don't like how blenders is highlighted. They're a real pain in the arse. Gotta do at least 1 or 2 exercises a month on the coffee grinder. That's wild. Someone fucking revving an engine out there. Is there a little robot? You better show me that little thing right now. I want to see it. So I know I'm breaking the rules again, but how many people in here are dead? Yeah. It's a cafe for dead people. Does that mean it's everyone? Or are some of the people just real into ghost cafes? A little column A, a little column B. Plenty of mortals come through, but this is one of the only crossing points in the country, so we get a lot of your type. That's also why the rent is so high. Because those vampires around the place know we get a lot of foot traffic. Literal vampires? No, like boomers. Landlord class. Same thing, I guess. So to answer your question, there are 9 customers in here right now. Out of those 9, yourself included, I'd say 4 or 5 of them are just passing through on their way to the next place. How can you tell? Once you've worked here a while, you get a sort of sixth sense for this kind of thing. Gotcha. Speaking of sixth senses, I've got one for trouble. You have 2 sixth senses? Hello, Ashley. Hello, child. Ashley had adopted the cafe staff a couple years back, much in the same way that a puppy adopts a squeaky toy. She was kind of ferociously smart. She was the kind of ferociously smart kid who absorbed information like a sponge, but only used it to cause trouble. Today, she was accompanied by the stench of motor oil and brought with her a look that said, "I'm an invincible genius." She was mostly right about that one. Alright, I know that look. Spit it out. What? I don't know what you're talking about. Cut the crap, kid. What are you after? I'm busy dealing with a customer. I'm not really needing any attention. Shut up, Kishan. I need an extra pair of hands, and none of my Ashlings are around. Oh my god, does she have little robots called Ashlings? Please have robots. I've never wanted that. I want robots. I want little robots. Don't you have any clamps? We got a bunch for your birthday last month. They're all being used for very important things. They were not. Pretty sure I saw one on the table upstairs earlier. No, I really need a helper. Ashley, I'm busy. Please. Hey, I could probably... Come on, Ashley, you've gotta let us work. I'm not getting anything done here if I have to keep going upstairs to find the screwdrivers you misplaced. I like how you can move the camera just a little bit. But hey, no dice. What about Che? He can help me. But what about... He's emptying the dishwasher. Sound familiar? Poor Keishan in the back's like, hey guys. Hey guys. I can jiggle the camera. I can get a little... Oh, it is iced coffee. Look, iced coffee is $5.90. Okay, that makes a little more sense. How much is the regular coffee? I can't tell if that's a 3 or a 5. Maybe we'll find out these sick coffee prices later. Negative reviewers are actually crazy. This is such a neat way. I think this is very unique. I think this is interesting. One thing is that a lot of the things don't autoplay. I don't think so, at least. I've been clicking through, kind of like waiting a second and clicking through some of the animations, and I can't tell if it'll actually autoplay without my interference when it plays the animations or not. That's the one thing, is I don't want to accidentally mess with the pacing of the game by accidentally clicking through something too quickly. Oh my god, why is my phone sending me like 16 notifications? Okay, we're fine. It should, because I told you to do it an hour ago. Oh, heh. It's really no trouble. Oh, Why don't I take this guy? Only thing he's busy with is being dead. Hey, come on. Ashley, I'm not gonna argue with you about this. I'm sure he would rather relax than be bossed around. Also, manners. We talked about this. You gotta be more respectful in front of the customers. Please. I'm happy to go upstairs. Really, it's fine. I don't have anything else going on. And I'm super dead. I'm cool with it. I'm Keishan, very dead guy, happy to help. You sure? I can just send her back upstairs. Promise, it's fine. I just sit around and be a pain otherwise. Perfect. Come, peon, we got work to do. Peon. Ashley wasn't getting enough attention, but with Maddie's newfound responsibilities, some sacrifices had to be made. That meant the kid would just have to occupy herself more often than not. She still felt guilty as hell about it, and... Hey, buddy. Not a ghost, but is evil. Yeah, I don't think any of the people in that opening scene were dead. Which would be Ashley, Maddie, this guy who I think was Che, and the other two, which was like an old man and another person we didn't really get a look at. Oh, I can rewind? Oh, I can use my scroll wheel to rewind and go through scenes again. That is so good to know in case I misclick. Okay. You know, I reckon this place could use more plants. Jesus Christ, Kay. I keep saying his name differently. Shay. Should it be Shay? Because it's C-H-A-Y? Shay? I'm gonna go tentatively with Shay. There's no voice acting, so they can't correct me. You're gonna give me a hardtack, you old bastard. What's on your mind? And the clouds, as per usual. Did I look like I was thinking weighty thoughts? Excruciatingly so. I think it's a hard ch, like in Chad. Che? Yeah, it's either Che or Shay. Let's go Che. I'm gonna say it wrong. Here's the problem though. I'm gonna keep saying it wrong. Nothing important. Just my resting bitch face. Nope. This one's different. How so? Does it autoplay if I let it sit for a second, or do I have to click through? Okay, I do have to click through. I just wanted to check. Your facial expressions remind me of the time you tried to fistfight that cosplayer. Oh, the samurai. The one who barged in, waving his gift store katana around and demanding satisfaction after I refused to put 15 shots in his coffee. Weirdly specific. What's it look like? Looks like you just got threatened with 1,000-fold Nippon steel. It's a precious memory, so I remember it very clearly. A mix of deep disgust, a whole bunch of derision, and a tiny pinch of pity. Yeah, that's me. What a mood. We will hear 12 different pronunciations by the end of the stream, yeah. Every time they bring his name up without me reading it in, like, a while, it's gonna, like... it's gonna happen. You alright, though? Real talk. I'm fine. I'm actually fine, or let's not talk about it fine. The second one. Therio? Offer's still open if you'd like to talk things out. In the meantime, sorry. Can I grab that tea towel? My hands are wet. Oh, yeah, here you go. So, did the dishes need hand washing, or... I'm sure I told Ashley to empty the dishwasher earlier. Nah, thing's busted. Door latch won't close. Might call the repairman. Ashley shouldn't wash them by hand anyway. Her arm would corrode, so I did it. Is that a joke or is that real? Not a problem. Okay, that's not being taken as a joke. Her arm would corrode. She's a robot? That or one of her arms. I mean, she looks like to be like a techie. Like, if the Ashlings thing are robots, then she's probably like a kid inventor, which might mean she has like a robotic arm or she made her own arm or something. So like I mentioned, it'll need repair unless you want to let Ashley at it. I'll call the repairman myself, but our landline stopped working last week. We have a landline? Yes. Ancient technology. An elegant tool for a less civilized age. Only works when you pay the bill, though. I don't know if it'd be cheaper to get it repaired, or just buy a new one and give Ashley the old one for parts. Costs are pretty close, all things considered. Hey, don't work too hard. You'll worry yourself into an early grave. Hey, you spent 50 years digging holes. That sounds like pretty tough work, old man. Ow, old man. For your information, I'm barely at, 170-ish. I'm failing to see the inaccuracy. It was during a literal gold rush. Okay, so our boss is immortal, we have a weird child genius robot, and we work here. We're not dead, we just work here. Everyone was doing it. Only thing different about me is that I eventually started digging up things more interesting than gold. Only kind of gold I'm interested in is brown gold. Coffee. I mean coffee, shut up. Hey, so, I know it's just another stress on the stress pile, but I think we need to put in an order for more kitchenware soon. Yeah, another thing that costs money. Going to run out of cutlery, though. Keeps disappearing, not sure where. Don't know how long it can wait before we get more. Oh, robot. Know if we can afford that this month. Just, you know, everything's a bit too pricey right now. Doesn't help that the coffee cartels keep pushing up prices. I don't think the importer is part of a cartel. They're quite nice. I've seen photos of their kids. You ever spoken to them? They're obviously criminals with the prices they charge. Wholesale my hours. And yet we keep buying from them. Well, yeah, the beans are good, man. Just everything else on top of them, and that's stressing. The beans are good, man. That's stressing me out. Yeah. I'll happily accept the blame for some of that. It's fine. You don't have to. I know that's all on me. I've just got to figure out how to pay everything off. Everything? And everyone. The shitty council of death and the doubly shitty time debt we owe them are now the last things I want to think about right now. Lost enough sleep over it already. Hey, I'm here to help. I'm worried about you, you know? You've had a lot of responsibility dropped on you in a very short period of time. And I can't help but feel a little bit culpable for that. I know. Yeah, I know. And you... can't thank you enough. Just starts crying. Shh, it's alright. Hold yourself together. We'll figure it out as a team, just like we always have. I just don't want to deal with it, you know? I get it. And I don't want you to feel like I'm imposing or interfering too much. I know the cafe's yours now. Even though things are a bit much at the moment. I know I keep saying this, Maddie. And I don't know how much time we have to deal with all of this before things start falling apart. Things are already falling apart. But you're gonna have to face reality at some point. You know that, right? Jay, oh my god, yes, I know. I don't need any more reminders from you. Back off, man. Council's always on my mind. I can't escape them. My best is all I can do, okay? Just because you're my best friend, and my old boss, and my mentor, doesn't mean I need you preaching to me about how I need to deal with my problems. Because they're my problems now, not yours. Alright, no worries. I'll give you some space. Might go check on Ashley. You've seen her recently? She's upstairs. Tried a customer up there, talking about clamps or something. I better go rescue them then. Be back in a bit. Shit, he's right, isn't he? Really could use some more plants. So we're gonna strap a big ol' steak knife to it and make them fight each other. Oh, this is a fun time she's having. I love it. This is gonna be great. I want to build something that gets put on that TV show Battle Royale with flamethrowers on it. You're not gonna put one on this little guy, are you? A flamethrower? Probably not. But I want to record the fight on my phone so we could send it to the producers. Yeah, sure thing. Let's get this knife attached. Pass me those zip ties. Zip ties. And the knife. Knife. And my coffee. Are you sure? Who even gave you that? Coffee! Damn it, it's empty. My coffee's empty, Keishan. The world is beginning to vibrate. Oh great, she's hopped up on caffeine. Maybe it's good that your cup runneth empty, eh? I think my cup needs to runneth with more espresso in it. How many shots did you put in there? Too many, Keishan. Oh, she does have a robotic hand, you can see it there. But did anyone ask Icarus how many shots of espresso he had? Yes, I'm reading a book about Icarus. He flew to the sun. I'm cultured. In unrelated news, I have a headache. I think you might want to read a little more about Icarus. There's a twist ending to that one. I'm holding a knife, Keisha. No spoilers. No spoilers. Promise. Shout out to the people being afraid of this child. Alright, Jay. Just say hi. Trying to get the knife slung at you this time. This time? Okay. You got this. Ahem. Hey, kids. Ah! Intruder! Keishan, my buddy, my pal. Did I get him? No. You missed. Damn it. But, wait. You threw it on purpose? Extremely on purpose, yes. I'm fine, by the way. Oh, it's just you. Would it have been worse if it was someone else? Probably. Unless they were an actual spy come to steal my robot designs. Then it would have been good. Hey, I think I'm crashing. What a freaky child. Oh no, is she okay? Did I kill her? She'll wake up in about 15 minutes with no ill effects. But you probably shouldn't give her any more coffee. She turns into a real goblin. Oh, told me it'd make her immeasurably powerful. I mean, she's not wrong, but you know, great power, great responsibility, yada yada yada. She's 13. Kid's got plenty of energy already. Maybe not the sense of responsibility though. Yeah, I don't even know how I ended up sitting here attaching knives to robots. She's very convincing. You don't have to tell me, mate. She basically lives here. Her parents would kill me if they found out she nearly killed me. Pretty good blind throw, though. She makes me proud in the weirdest ways. Huh. She learned from the best? Pfft, she did, but the best definitely wasn't me. Maddie's pretty deadly with knives. Loves her flashy tricks. Bad habit, probably. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm being very rude. My name's Shay. I used to own this place. Now I just sort of sit around and cause trouble and sometimes have knives thrown at me, I guess. I'm Keishan, and I died today. My current question is if the prologue, that opening scene, was a flash forward or a flash back. Robots. Oh. Ah. I'm alive. I'm alive. Oof, I got a loud one here. Aw, be nice. You know it's scary waking up. Big lights coming towards me. I think it's reliving its last moments. Looks like it. What is happening? Hello! I do not remember having this many limbs. Join the club, pal. We are reborn in a new image. Are they like people? Or like different robots that are now in new bodies? I see. I'm Kepler. Nice to meet ya. And I'm Jacoby. I am undefined. I don't know if that name will stick. Its body is made of a milk carton. Should we call it Milk? No, too basic. Imagine if you called me Goon just because I'm made of a goon box. What the fuck is a goon box? You can't just say that. I wouldn't like that at all. Ashley was yelling about someone called Lovelace the other day. That's a good one, I think. How does our new friend feel about it? Acceptable? Excellent. Nice to meet you, Lovelace. I like you, robots. I like you funny little robots a lot. I think it's a type of wine. That's crazy to me. Coon box. During intermission at the end of episode, you can freely explore the terminal. Memories are scattered throughout the terminal that delve into the tales of its patrons. More locations and memories become available as you progress through the main story. Oh, this is like my hub world. Robot. Oh, boxed wine. Okay. Judgment number 1. Okay, so I'm assuming each of these is a scene, maybe? Let's see. Battle Royale Robot Power Rankings. Windlass. When I first saw the name of this bot, I thought it was styled to be like a girl who could run, control storms, and run like a ninja, a real lass of the wind. Or maybe a girl of the elements, someone with the ability to become the wind itself. If I were a windlass, I would vanish in an instant whenever Maddie appeared. She would look around and say, "Where's Ashley?" And I'd be right there, but she wouldn't notice because I would be one with the wind. Then when she left, I would fade back into the room like a ninja. This would only work outside and in rooms that are really breezy, so I would probably set up fans in the workshop to make it really drafty. Then I looked it up online and learned that windlass is actually a fancy name for a winch used to pull anchors up, which at first made me think this bot was lame. It works by hooking its arm under enemy bots and pulling it up to flip them over. It never even tries to smash the other bots to the bit or melt it with fire. But then I watched it in action and realized that flipping your enemy on their back to incapacitate them is the ultimate ninja move. While windlass moves like a master, spending the entire match trying to bait its opponent into exposing its weakness. And then, like a ninja master that knows how to jab at exactly the right pressure point on the back of the neck to make her enemy's head explode, Windlass grabs the enemy bot by the one part of it that happens to be sticking out the wrong time and flips it onto its back. Note, most bots only have wheels or legs on the bottom, not on the top, so when you flip them over, they are totally helpless and the match is over. To avoid this happening, make sure to put wheels on the top as well. When I make a bot like Windlass, I'm going to call it Badass because that's what it is. Hi, Carbon. Also, add time. Okay. So that's Ashley's journal about battle bots. Let's see. Ooh. Lamington recipe. Yeah, why not? Authentic Australian lamingtons. Ingredients: 200 grams of butter, a cup of castor sugar, 5 milliliters of vanilla extract, 3 Malifaux eggs, 500 grams of self-rising flour sifted, half cup milk, 2 cups shredded coconut, icing, 4 tablespoons sugar mixed and dissolved in water, 4/5 cup of cocoa powder, 100 grams butter, half a cup of water. You will also need a convection oven, Lamington pan, 3 centimeters deep and 20 by 30 centimeters base. Baking paper, an electric mixer. A Lamington. Possible substitutions. Chicken eggs can be used in the place of malleable eggs. If electricity is not available, wheel oil mixers can be used instead. It's strongly hypothesized that a homunculus made with Lamington DNA can be used in lieu of an actual Lamington, but no confirmed tests have been confirmed, due to the lack of success in producing actual homunculi, especially homunculi capable of baking. Instructions: grease Lamington pan, line with baking paper. Use electric mixer, beat butter, vanilla, and sugar until airy, add eggs to mixture. Have your Lamington sift flour— what the fuck is a Lamington? Sift flour into mixture and add milk. Have Lamington pour into pan and smooth. At this point, you may dismiss your Lamington, they are no longer needed. Bake for 30 minutes. Note that it is not necessary to have a Lamington perform this step. Tips for procuring— okay, maybe this will give context. Any recently departed Lamington who comes into contact with a 40-60 mixture of vanilla and coconut will begin to glow red. Note that a 30-70 vanilla coconut mixture will cause them to glow green. The 30-70 mixture can be used in the case of potential Lamingtons who have particularly flushed cheeks or otherwise difficult to identify by a red glow, but this is generally discouraged as the effects can persist for several hours and can often be unsettling to guests. Only around 20% of people who claim to be Lamingtons have actual Lamington ancestry, hence the need to test potential candidates. Be particularly skeptical of anyone who claims to be directly descended from either a Lord or Lady Lamington. Lamington pretenders uniformly claim to be descended from a former Lord, leading to the overwhelming of these claimants being false positives. Most Lamingtons were agricultural workers, so anyone claiming to be descended from a farmer of Lamington is more likely to be credible, but should be tested to verify authenticity. Okay, so Lamington is like a family name? I thought it was like a creature or something, but I think it's just a family name or something. Do not bother testing anyone claiming to be descended from the third bearing of Lamington, as Victor Alexander Brisbane William Cochrane Bally died childless. Gluten-free option. Having Lamington stir self-rising flour to the mixture is critical to the synthesis process and will not work with a non-gluten alternative. That feeling when no gluten-free option. Yeah, alright. Lamingtons are believed to be named after either Lord Lamington, who served as governor, or his wife, Lady Lamington. So the only way you can make an authentic Lamington is if you have a descendant of that family make it with you. Fucking amazing. Sure. What? Ooh. Oh, wow. Ooh. The fisherman won. Get outside. So we're like in like the basement, it almost looks like. We're really low down. Alright, we had the fisherman. So these are memories we're reading, basically. Maddie was about to leave the counter when an old-looking man pushed the door open. He was hunched over and he walked with a bit of a limp, and even at this distance you could see the leathery texture of his skin, a testament to many years well lived. It's only a true Lamington if it involves Lamington descendant, otherwise it's just sparkling cake. Maddie had been about to leave the counter to Che, but there was something in the way the man walked that made her want to stay longer, or stay long enough to see if he had any special requests. She wasn't sure if she would like the man, and in fact she was fairly sure that there was a good chance that she wouldn't have much to say to the man, or much that she'd be interested in hearing from him. But it was obvious that the man had paid his dues, and she felt like she owed him at least a few moments of her time. Even if he hadn't done anything in life worth of that admiration, he had at least done enough to earn her respect. It was only when the man sat down that Maddie saw that his skin was cracked, but not wrinkled. His body had been aged, but had been aged by the elements in the sun more than had been aged by the passage of time. A slight limp in his step could have easily been the limp of a young man who had spent one day too many lifting loads that were 1 kilo too heavy. He took the seat directly in front of her. "You serve food here?" Apparently the man was more interested in finding out what was on offer than figuring out where he was. Maddie kept herself from visibly smirking. There's something she liked about guests like that, people whose only question was what was on tap. Maddie glanced at Che. He gave a nod of assent. Yes, Che was willing to play the role of grillmaster today. We do serve food, she said. The man squinted up at the menu above him. My eyes don't work too well in this light, he said. Got a paper menu. Maddie reached under the counter and pulled out a menu that looked just as aged as the man sitting in front of her. Its scars were from coffee stains, not cuts, but as she watched the man hold the menu, there was something about the combination too that felt right to her. The man stared at the menu for a good deal longer than it must have taken him to read everything on it. He finally spoke after a long considered pause. Do you suppose it would be a problem if I were to order something if I didn't intend to actually eat it? That's not the kind of thing that would offend me, said Maddie. Actually, it was exactly the kind of thing that would offend her. Yet there was something in the way that the man asked that made her feel like whatever reason he might have for not eating food he was served, it would be a good one, and she was half interested to find out what the man's reaction would be. I'll have the grilled halibut, he said. Ah, halibut, said Maddie. She understood. Many people enjoyed the concept of grilled fish more than they liked it in practice. If this man knew himself well enough to be up in front and honest about that, she could respect that. I can't promise it's never been frozen. I hope that's not a problem, she said, sure that it wouldn't be. Sounds like my kind of fish, said the man. The best halibut swim in cold water. And a problem if that water happens to be in solid form after the halibut passes. She nodded to Shay, I do keep switching between Shay and the other pronunciation, who nodded back and headed back to the freezer. The man placed both of his hands on the counter and folded them. There was something serene in the way that the man sat there with no inclination to glance around and expect the cafe he was in. No nervous movement in his legs, no strained expression on his face to express that he was waiting for something to happen. He looked so calm that Maddie almost didn't want to disturb him. But she chaffed at the idea that only squeaky wheels were deserving of grease. Some wheels were just too polite to ask. Do you want a drink while you're waiting on that? I don't think I need a drink, said the man. All right, said Maddie, picking up a whiskey bottle and placing it in his field of view, a reminder of what he was free to ask for. The man squinted. Is that Jack Daniels? Indeed it is, said Maddie. The man's shoulders rose a bit in what looked like barely a chuckle. Got a fondness for that particular drink? It's just that we share the same name, said the man. I'm Jack Daniel. No relation to the distiller. I had several friends who took it upon themselves to check. As you might imagine, I've seen a lot of those bottles over the years. It's the kind of gift that people enjoy giving you when you have a name like that. Is it a gift you enjoyed receiving? It's always a pleasure to receive a gift, said Jack. It's nice to know that you have friends who care about you and think about you. Is it a gift that you enjoyed consuming? I had a shelf in my flat where I collected them, waiting for other people to come so I'd have an excuse to open them. Huh, Maddie said, picking up the bottle and placing it below the counter. Sorry, if I brought up a bad memory. He laughed. Where's the bad memory? It's good to receive from friends and good to share with friends. It's a reminder of the people who I was close to and the things I did with them. No need to apologize for that. Maddie smiled. She was beginning to find that she liked Jack, and it seemed like Jack was the kind of person who liked her, if for no other reason that he liked people, and Maddie was people. She chuckled with him, and she enjoyed the chuckle so much that she almost missed Jack's momentary sideways glance, an unguarded moment when his mind seemed to be on something other than what he was talking about. It was only an instant, but it was a flicker of pain that she learned to recognize over the years. There was something in him that was hurting, even as he remembered his friends. A sense of loss. A regret about something left unsaid. Maddie wasn't sure. Whatever it was none of her business. But she wanted it to be her business. Well, anything you want, just ask. Cup of water, warm glass of milk. Warm glass of milk. How old do you think I am? Maddie shrugged. 5 or 6, just the right age to drink milk. Drink a tall glass of milk before you shoot off to bed at 8 o'clock in the evening. I'm just barely older, said Jack. But if I do want that glass of milk, I guess I know who to ask. Oh, that's the end of it. I guess this is labeled number 1. We might find more of these later. Hi, Ali. That was number 1, right? Yeah, the fisherman number 1. So we might get, like, more stories of, like, certain patrons. Okay. There's so many of these. Because there's Judgment 1. There's a coffee machine. Oh. Think about alchemy in the wrong way. Oh my god, there are so many of these side things I can read. I can't go upstairs yet though, which is kind of good because it means I don't have to read more things upstairs. Oh, carbon login, hell yeah. The Judgment's probably another story about a customer. I want to read the reviews for this fucking coffee machine. I like the music in this game. I keep finding my head like bobbing along with it as I read. So this is the fucking reviews for the coffee machine. Self-sealing lids form airtight seals around the crucible's ground rim. Oh my god, it auto-seals cups? Quality suitable for mixing potions and filtres. Average ratings, 3.5 out of 5. Reviews, 5. I love this. The covering, despite being quartz, has a textured appearance that gives it a silky smooth feel. Most crucibles feel sterile and cold, but this one makes perfect for a beverage container while entertaining guests. 4 out of 5. The previous crucible set I used was inherited from my grandmother, who brought them over from New England. Unfortunately, 2 months at sea were not kind to her spiritware, and her crucibles were filled with tiny cracks and microfractures that allowed unsightly looking soot to build up, leaving them stained with hard gray lines everywhere. Looks like they were about to crack apart at any moment. She used them for several decades to come, but every time I worked with her and watched them heat up, I was afraid they were constantly on the verge of shattering. One she used to contain a lost wayward spirit for several days before finding a home for it, and I would get up at night to check the embers under the crucible, and always unsettled me seeing how fragile the container was. Several times I found myself tempted to tip the crucible over to see how easily it would shatter under my soft touch. Needless to say, this new set is much nicer. They are sterile, and I can keep several of them in my bedroom without feeling unsettled by their presence. 2 of the crucibles in my set arrived with small chips in them, but I contacted the manufacturer and they replaced them at no charge. Placements were express shipped, process was quick, great customer service. For the price, can't be beat. Owned mine 2 weeks, didn't crack, decent for the price. I want to see like the 1-star review that's plummeting this thing's average. There it is. Bought this several weeks ago since it was the cheapest crucible on the site, advertised as spirit resistant. I'm working in a filtry for my graduate thesis, purchased 100 of these for lab use. My plan was to monitor 100 different animal spirits over the different types of plant matter and compare how different biomaterials affect their vigor over a 90-day period. Okay. The first day, I set the first 5 with samples of mugwort, feverfew, ginger, ginseng, and golden seal. I placed them in the crucible over low heat, 80 degrees Celsius, and left them overnight. For the next 2 days, did the same with all the remaining crucibles, finishing on a Friday and leaving the lab alone for the weekend. She might have been I think she is serious. I have to get a fucking spirit-resistant coffee machine so it doesn't kill me. When I arrived back on Monday, I knew something was wrong when I noticed a rain cloud hovering over the door. It's not uncommon for rain clouds to appear at any time of year at any time of day in this part of the country, but it's quite another to find a rain cloud localized entirely within the hallway of your research lab. I braced for the worst, and I guess I should have braced harder. Nothing could have prepared me for the smell when I opened the door. I immediately felt my eyes watering, and I actually found myself choking, it smelled so bad. I slammed the door shut and went to the basement to grab one of my emergency respirators we keep down there. Unfortunately, the respirator did little to mask a terrible step. What the fuck? Oh. I opened the first crucible and saw it was filled with a tar-like substance. As I studied its inky black withering form, I felt the air sucked out of me, almost like it was trying to drag me into the abyss. I threw it onto the floor and the container shattered, splattering the floor with a tar-like substance, which slowly began crawling around the room. Oh my god. Grabbed his fire extinguisher, sprayed the tar until it was completely covered, and heard what sounded like a sputtering noise followed by a long gasp and a scream that faded into oblivion. Okay. After poking at the fire extinguisher spray, whatever was underneath was clearly quenched. Hey, what the fuck? I took the remaining crucibles and placed them in the oven and baked them at a temperature of 1600 degrees for several hours as I sat alone in the lab, contemplating the cruelty of existence and wondering what my academic advisor would have to say about my thesis project. Oh, wowzers. After several hours of waiting, I opened the oven and checked the contents of the crucibles, revealing nothing but ash. Whatever it was that had been drawn by the spiritual emissions of my lab work, it was gone from my world, but the memory of that day will haunt me for all the remaining days of my life. Oh my god. Do not buy this crucible for spirit-related applications. My wife is one of the product designers who worked on this item. Crucible in this listing comes from a manufacturer called Mercury LLC. Back in 2013, they were some of the best hardware you could get for your money and earned a reputation among hobbyists as a great value for anyone working on a budget. I love the world building. I'm obsessed with this. I like this a lot, actually. In 2016, they did a survey and found that fewer than 3% of buyers were actually using the crucible for spirit-related applications and decided they would cut costs by removing the spirit-resistant properties. However, they found that products advertised with updated ad copy to reflect this didn't sell as well, so they continued using the old product description which advertised it as spirit-resistant, with the new product line not spirit-resistant. I don't know how they're getting away with this. Apparently the definitions of what is actually spirit-resistant are legally murky, and the number of people affected is small enough that they continue to sell well. Stay far, far away from this one, and more anyone you know who might buy an item like this that it does not work as advertised. 5 out of 5. Nice color. Oh, it's good. That's good. Good, period. That was worth it. I was like, oh, we'll skim read the reviews. They can't be that funny. No, that's good. I like that. I like that a lot. All right, we have 2 more. Alchemy and then the other story. I could read these a lot. I really like these. Part of me was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't read all of these because I don't want to like slow down. No, these are important, I've decided. Most of these have been really good or really interesting. I think the only one I didn't find particularly interesting was Ashley's journal entry about the BattleBot. Even then, though, it's still good world building. Same energies. That has such good like Amazon review energy. I love it. All right, thinking about alchemy the wrong way. What do we got? Highlighted passages from Thinking About Alchemy the Wrong Way by Sophie Cordova. Most study of alchemy throughout history can be categorized as either practical alchemy, that is, alchemy which aims to understand the world only as well as needed to fulfill certain utilitarian ends, and philosophical alchemy, that is, alchemy which aims to come to a more complete understanding of the world as it is, without prejudice, or which portions of alchemical understanding can be wielded to utilitarian ends. Oh no, the words are getting bigger. In the modern alchemy movement, there's been a tendency within literature to place a greater emphasis on philosophical alchemy. You can hear it. You can hear me almost say psychological. You can hear me almost say it. Based on the premise that coming to a more complete and correct understanding of the universe is the best way for us to discover new practical methods for the physical use of alchemy. Much of this is based on the modern scientific movement in the post-Enlightenment era. Much like our understanding of theoretical physics gives us more accurate models of physical reality, which have real applications in engineering, having a better understanding of alchemy on a philosophical level informs our practice of alchemy. However, it may be that this focus on alchemy, which places an emphasis on being correct rather than useful, has thrown out the baby with the bathwater. Deranged turn of phrase. Admittedly, my position here is hardly biased. The fact that practical studies of alchemy have largely been chased underground is the reason that the tome you're reading is self-published, rather than distributed through more official channels. For example, underappreciated in the development of modern alchemical practices is the use of a 5-element model. Oh my god, there's a lot of world building. And I find it really fascinating, because I'm finding out they have highly advanced robots, and also magic, and also advanced alchemy, and also ghosts. The early pre... oh no. Aristotelian? Aristotelian? We're gonna go with that. Alchemical models were based on the understanding of 5 elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. Later, Aristotelian alchemical models separated elements into 4 categories of earth, water, air, and fire. While this model may be more accurate and reflect our evolution of understanding of alchemy, it seems to sacrifice the more practical separation of elements in a way that better allows us to understand less tangible things. While wood is not an element, strictly speaking, it helps for us to think of it as such. After all, juxtapositioning wood against elements such as metal and fire make it apparent that wood possesses a certain soul-like quality that other elements lack, which might prompt us to question what is about wood that seems to make it behave like a super element, or practical uses beyond the conventional. I would assume, oh god, you're right. Listen, if they just never say the word again, I don't have to come to the conclusion that I'm not convinced I know how to say that philosopher's name. Is it Aristotle? Aristotelian? Oh my god, I hate that. Aristotelian? That's closer than I was before. The slow revelation to all of you that I can't actually read and or don't know how to pronounce certain words out loud is both so soul-crushing and also deeply funny even to me. Sometimes I don't know how to say a word until I go to say it, and then I can just feel that it's wrong, and I'm like, ooh. There's a great irony in the fact that while these kinds of questions eventually led us to discard the 5-element model, the new model no longer allows for the existence in this sort of question to exist in academic literature. This book serves as my guide to asking the wrong questions to arrive at the wrong answers that nonetheless seem to work. It is a book for troublemakers and rule breakers. Indeed, the fact that you hold this book in your hands right now is probably evidence that you've broken several rules to acquire it. That, or you are a rule enforcer tasked with destroying my work, who for some reason has decided to take the time to read it. Perhaps you're reading my work in search of identifying information which might lead you to my location, or you're reading to gain a better understanding of someone whom you consider to be an enemy. Perhaps, after reading my work, you'll realize that my ideas are not so dangerous as you've been led to believe. Or perhaps you'll realize that they are exactly as dangerous as you've been told. We pointed it out because we know how it feels. That isn't topical. So that's really interesting. There's 2 ways to do alchemy. The old way, which identify like wood and metal as key elements, and then the new way, which is like water, earth, fire, and like air. Something about the proposition of alchemy where you identify wood as an element and acknowledge that wood, when juxtaposed with metal and fire, give it a soul-like quality. Something about that has gripped my brain. Sometimes you just read things or like consume things in media and you feel it grab you. That was one of them for me. Something about that. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. Fascinating way to frame it. I like it. All right, this is our last one. This is something with Che. Che sat in a corner of a cafe with a book in his lap. His eyes danced over the page for several moments, the words on the page illuminated by the candle that sat perched on the armrest of his chair. Then, after several moments passed, he turned the page. He hadn't actually internalized any of the text on the page, nor had he taken in any of the text. Aw, dude, I get it. I know how that feels. He was vaguely aware of the fact that the book kept on referring to a man named Henry, who Che presumed was the protagonist of the book he had in his lap, but beyond that he knew little to nothing. Che didn't particularly mind this fact. In fact, if he started actually following the story that was told in the pages of his book, he would consider it a great failure. Che enjoyed sitting down with a book. and he enjoyed the platonic ideal of reading. The platonic ideal of reading. But when it came to telling stories, he found books to be a poor substitute for a person sitting next to him. He didn't pick up books when he wanted to be told a story. He picked up books when he wanted to be alone and to situate in a comfy chair and bask in candlelight and sit silently in a meditative state. He turned another page. "Hey," said a familiar voice, interrupting him. "I'm in the middle of a book, Ned," said Che, if you hadn't noticed. That was the book's secondary function. It deterred people who might see a man sitting alone and seize upon the opportunity to start a conversation when he was not in the mood for a conversation. "Is it a good book?" said Ned. "I was enjoying being alone with it," said Che. "Yeah, you looked really engrossed. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I've got a favor to ask." "Why is it always to ask a favor?" said Che, looking past Ned and speaking to no one in particular, even though there was no one but Ned near enough to hear him speak. "Why is it never, 'Hey, Che, I just wanted to stop by to offer you a favor'?" "I did that one time." "You said you were busy, which I figured was your way of politely saying, 'Please don't bother me with this kind of visit,' so I stopped." "Did you? I don't remember it." "I'm sure you do remember it," said Ned. "It was from back before you started forgetting things. Sometime around... When did the war start?" "You're gonna have to be a lot more specific," said Che. "You know, the war, the soldiers, and the guns." "Ah, that war. I did narrow it down a bit, didn't I?" "I'm not that old," said Che. "Wars were fought with guns even when I was a young man. Same for you." "Did they? What was the war with the, He raised a hand to his face and flicked his helmet, mimicking the unmistakable ping of a M1 Garand. "World War II. Which one was that?" "The one with the Nazis," said Che. "That sounds about right," said Ned. "Are they both immortals?" I'm assuming this Ned guy's also an immortal based on this conversation. "Anyway, I came to ask a favor. I hope that favor was spend a few minutes of your time having an inane conversation, but we already did that." "My, aren't you snippy today? What's gotten into you?" Che held up the book. "A good book is what's gotten into me." "Sorry. I wouldn't ask if it wasn't urgent. I'm in need of an interpreter." "You speak Cantonese, right?" "Yeah." "Great. Can I steal you for a few hours?" "Not if it's to be an interpreter." "Why not? You speak Cantonese and you seem fluent enough in English, so why would you say no specifically to translating?" "Being an interpreter is not as simple as being bilingual, Ned." "Isn't it? I figured you hear things in one language and then say them in another. Seems simple to me." "Are you literate?" said Che. "A bit." "Can you write a work of great literature?" "No." "Well, there you go. There's more to translating than being bilingual." "Oh, come on. I'm in a pinch. Not asking you to be a great interpreter, just an adequate one. There's a lot of bilingual people around. I'm sure you know other places to ask." "Yeah, but, I know you're not the kind of person to spill secrets. And it's kind of the conversation I just want between me and one other person, "Great. Sounds like you need a professional interpreter. I hear they're great at facilitating those kind of interactions." "Come on. What can a professional interpreter do that you can't?" "A lot of things. But for one, a professional interpreter is someone you can count on to allow you to use their mouth to say incredibly stupid things by letting you or your counterparty know just how stupid they find the interaction." "Funny that. I always figured that's the kind of thing you'd be good at." "Because I'm so good at holding my tongue?" "Yeah. I've tried before," said Che, kicking up his feet. "Being an interpreter pays well if you find yourself working for the right people, and it leaves your hands a lot less callous than some of the work I found myself doing instead. But you'll notice my hands have calluses. Turns out holding your tongue is oftentimes harder than digging holes." "Come on, you know how to be a diplomat." "Fuck off." He's so much ruder in this than any of the interactions we have had with him so far. You used to be a dick, dude. There, that was me being undiplomatic. Now would you kindly... Oh. Sorry. Can't read that normally after Bioshock. Now would you kindly find yourself an air solution to your problem? One that doesn't involve me performing a task that I've told you at least twice now that I'm not going to do. Ned started to say something, but stopped just short of making an utterance and backed off. "Hey, Maddie," Ned shouted. "No," Maddie replied. I haven't even asked you for anything yet. I know, I thought I would save you the time. It sighed. What is it with you people? I turned toward Ned and glowered at him. You people? He raised his hands defensively. I didn't mean... Look, I just meant you're birds of a feather in quite a few ways. Maddie stared at him, and Ned contemplated whether there was any way for him to make a statement grouping Maddie and Che together without making himself look worse than he already did. He sighed in frustration. You know what your problem is? Yes, said Maddie. I know him quite well, and he's standing right in front of me. Oh, that's the end of that one. Okay, so this is not before Che met Maddie. This is when they were working in the cafe together. Damn, dude, Che, you're fucking dickhead. That or Ned sucks. It's one of the two. Either Ned sucks or you guys are just fucking assholes. Hey, wait a minute. This isn't what... When we walked up to the cafe, this isn't what the outside looked like. When we walked past the cafe, it was like a normal street. I just realized that. This is not what the outside looked like when we joined at the very beginning. They're all immortal? Maybe. Because Che's like 100, what did he say, 107? 170 something? He's like real old. It's unclear. I think she's also immortal, but like a new one. You know what I mean? Like new immortal. All right, let's do like one more chapter. I'm thinking maybe. We'll see how long this is. Yes, let's go to the next chapter. Hear me cracking my bones, don't worry about it. Hello. Man, I'd love to see that. Could use a pick-me-up. I can't promise it'll be there. It's kind of inconsistent. Still though, hallway that's only there sometimes? How do you get to the kitchen otherwise? There's another slightly longer one that we use instead. It's much less exciting, but on the upside, it's constantly there. I love telling new people about it though. Oh, can't promise it'll be there. No, stop, why are you rewinding? Oh, okay. I wasn't touching my scroll wheel. I also enjoy Maddie's design. I like the red on the glasses and the shoes that kind of like highlight. I like it. I definitely didn't expect to be getting enthusiastic today over a weird quantum hallway. Or enthusiastic at all, actually, because as soon as I stopped to think about it, I realized I'm actually extremely messed up about this. I understand. Your life has gotten very weird very fast, conceptually speaking. Or your unlife. I should be better about talking about this by now, shouldn't I? Jeez, that's not a fun one to think about, huh? Just keep talking about the hallway so I can keep my mind off this. To be honest, I'm not sure I could even probably explain a lot of what goes on in here. The building's mildly sentient. Yeah, there's just, I should really just be taking these in stride as they just drop these things on me, but I'm not. I have to stop and like internalize it and be like, okay, this is my new reality. Now we continue. The building's mildly sentient. Too much magic in the soil for it not to be, really. So the cafe's alive? Not necessarily. Plenty of things have come to life here, but as far as we can tell, the building itself isn't really falling into that category. Also, it mostly tends to shift itself in ways that are helpful instead of frustrating, so... quantum hallways. I'm making myself a cuppa. You want something? No, I'm good for now. Also, what's the barista's name? I didn't actually catch it and I feel like a jerk. Maddie. She's the owner now, not just the barista. Still makes coffee, of course, but since she's the owner now, she has a lot more to juggle. Why are you asking? Got your eye on her? No, I have a boyfriend. Had? Oh geez, this is a lot. Can't imagine how he's feeling. Try not to think about it. Okay. Yep. Okay. You want that drink now? I think I want something a little more potent than coffee right now. Sorry. Don't enable him, Keishan. Shh. And get you something stronger, mate. Shot of whiskey, perhaps. I thought this was a cafe. Well, it is, mostly. We serve alcohol, though. And stronger things on request. Stronger? Like what? Bite you? Absinthe? Pure ethanol. I think a place like this wouldn't have something stronger than that. Stronger than pure ethanol. Sure. Remind me later and I might pull up some of my special reserve. Don't enable him, Keishan. Hey, someone's gotta drink it. I know you're gonna touch the stuff aside from setting it on fire. Excuse me, I have perfectly good reasons for wanting to set a puddle of distilled soul on fire. Hello? We'll agree to disagree on this one. So, Keishan, what'll it be? Actually, I changed my mind on the coffee. Gotta order something complex. Gotta treat myself on my last day on Earth. I'm after a sugar rush. If we have the ingredients, it shouldn't be an issue. Maddie can whip it up for you. Cool, cool. In that case, can I have a large quadruple shot, double vanilla caramel, no foam, super hot, reverse coconut milk macchiato. Oh my god. With 2 sugars and whipped cream on top. Maddie. Yes, dearest. Can you, I don't quite know how. Is this real? Oh, is it too much? I was gonna ask for a shot of whiskey Jay mentioned earlier, but it seemed a little extra. Well, yes, it is too much. I don't think even Starbucks would serve that. Why? Because it's a fucked up order, man. Dang. Every single word of that increased my urge to set the espresso machine on fire so I wouldn't have to think about making coffee ever again. Oh, but the whiskey's fine, I'll do that. I have a counteroffer, which you have to accept. Yeah? I'll make you another double shot long black, and I'll put whiskey in it, but I won't call you a hipster this time. If you decline my offer, on God, I will strip your soul from your body and use it to scrub the counters at closing time. I just love her fucking gritted teeth. It just cracks me the fuck up. Like I just imagine it so vividly in my head, spitting words through gritted teeth. They will smell delicious afterwards, if that is any consultation. Yikes. That does sound like a competitive counteroffer. Not the soul thing. I'll take the coffee. My generosity knows no bounds. Normie. Such a bitch. So, to conclude, that order sucked because it defies the laws of physics, has a heart attack's worth of sugar in it, and is something only wankers ask for. Is it possible to die twice? Yep. You can die twice if you're brought back from the dead. Or if you manage to really annoy someone between here and the next place. Which is more likely because resurrection is illegal. But if you're asking whether you can have a heart attack or whatever, the answer's no. Life and death have a slightly different meaning here. Can't die from natural causes. It's a bit complex and weird, and we're still in the process of figuring out how it all works. I'm over 200 years old and I still didn't make proper sense of it yet. Just some vague ideas. Right. So what's keeping me from just staying here? Like, I'm already dead. Why do I have to go to the next place? You've got a certain number of hours you're allowed to remain on the edge of the mortal realm. Hours are fungible. Fungible? They can be bought, sold, exchanged. Generally speaking. But the Council of Death always collects on debts owed to them. And you'll start running up a debt if you stay here too long. Your soul starts to get itchy, too. It's not something you want to experience. I've had a few stay past their allotted time, and they've gotten very uncomfortable very fast. It starts with general irritability, and then worse things begin to happen. Uh-huh. It's a weird thing to wrap your head around. How long do I have before I need to make myself scarce? You get 24 hours. Any longer, we start to pick up the tab since you're on our premises. And as charming as you are, we've already racked up too much time debt from letting people stick around past their expiry date. We're deep enough in the hole as it was, hours-wise. And cash-wise, we're extremely poor. We've been a bit too lenient in the past, letting people stay just a little longer instead of gently shooing them onto the next place of existence, or next plane of existence, etc. You know the drill. But hey, since hours are fungible, you can always acquire them some other way. There's something actually happening tonight that you might be interested in. Seriously? You're still doing that? Shush. You know the council doesn't look on that stuff favorably. She's running like a fucking gambling ring, but with people's like mortal plane hours. Bet 4 hours, try and get more kind of shit. It draws customers and helps us shave down the debt. I'll take whatever I can get. And hey, fuck Ned. We have a 13-year-old right here, you know. Oh, Ned was the other guy in the opening. Oh, that would make sense. She's heard enough coarse language for a lifetime. I'm not too worried about her. She's right, though. What? Every time Ned comes around, he makes you guys really stressed out. Maybe not you so much. Mandy gets nervous and it brings down the mood, man. So fuck Ned. Goodness, I think you've had too much coffee today. I'm crashing so hard right now, you have no idea. It's like I was crashing earlier, but that was the pre-crash, and I'm having a double crash or something. All I ask is that you try and keep the swearing to a minimum when customers are around. Okay. Discussion count. It's fine. A couple of my housemates are tradies, so you learn to ignore it pretty quick. Are tradies? Were tradies? They're still tradies unless they changed their career in the last couple days. But they're not my roommates anymore, because... Hey, mates, have I mentioned how much being dead sucks? Because it sucks, and I feel extremely bad about it. Having a pretty bad time right now in general, to be honest. Yep. Even just adapting your language is a pain, isn't it? Want a proper drink now? Without coffee in it? Yeah, that'd be good. TV didn't say anything about there being a storm tonight. Huh? Looks like a decent sized one's rolling in. Melbourne weather strikes again. I'll go upstairs and close the windows. Cheers. Come on, Ashley. Let's clean up your workbench while you're up there, yeah? Do you need a bribe? Yes. I have some chocolate hidden away. Acceptable. Che acts so much nicer, like, directly in the scenes we're seeing him in, than anything. Like, everyone else talks about him like he's a major asshole, and even in that flashback with Ned, or that side story thing with Ned, he's a huge asshole. But he's, like, weirdly, like, I don't know if he's, like, playing it up, or if he's, like, changed recently now that he's retired, but he seems, like, nicer than the game wants us to think he is. Which is kind of interesting to me. I don't know if he's just like that now and he was more of a dickhead in the past, or like more like Maddie in the past, or like, I don't know. Wait, dead people can still get drunk, yeah? Why else do you think we serve alcohol? To make money? Well, yeah. Hang on, do I even have my wallet? Doubt it. I don't, yeah. How's that work? Maybe it was Ned. Yeah, Ned just sucks. They did say that Ned really stresses them out. Yeah. I guess I'll just have to see in the other side stories or not. Why'd I have my clothes but not the contents of my pockets? I don't know, dude. Everyone's experience is different. Def doesn't follow many rules. Only universal rule I can think of is that you can't stay. People don't generally come in without their clothes, fortunately. So about this drink. Guess you're gonna give me some straight vodka or something? Why's that? You don't like making complex drinks. Dude, no. I don't like making ridiculous caffeine-laced milkshakes for overcompensating soccer dads. I'm happy to mix a cocktail within reason. Oh, okay. What you got then? Jay's got everything you can think of. And then some. I could go for a mint julep. Hey, what's that outside? Oh. Hi? Outside? Some guy out in the rain? Ah, shit. Maddie? Maddie, what's up? Let's get started on that drink. Oh, fuck. Oh, is this Ned? Is this Ned? Hey, dude. Your head's weird. Ooh. What the what? Oh, wow. He has a weird-ass head. Morning. Hi? Hello, recently departed. Hey, that hat you're wearing kind of makes you look like Ned Kelly. I could have sworn you were standing outside literally a second ago. So how'd this one cark it? Good morning to you too, Ned. This is Ned. It's 7 o'clock in the morning, Madeline. Piss off, Nedward. It's not even my full name. Isn't it, Maddie? Jay said it was, and he never lies. He never said that. Oh my God. Instantly violent. Instantly uncomfortable. Keishan is me, side-eyeing these two. What the fuck is Ned's problem? Well, no, but it was worth a try. A try at what? Catching me off balance? Some shit along those lines? I mean, I am so off balance right now, a light breeze could knock me head over arse. Don't push me. Hey, this mint julep's great. Just wanted to contribute that to the conversation. Sorry, it cracked me up. You catch the game last night? No. And I don't care to discuss the egg sport with you or anyone else. Don't try it. Oof. Just making a polite conversation. You should try it sometime. Maybe. Not for you, though. You've never come in during daylight hours before. What do you want? Nothing much. I'd like to talk to Shay at some point, but it can wait, seeing as he's missing. Planning on sending out a search party. Might do. Be a shame to lose an old friend by letting him wander in some train tracks or something. Yeah, well, shut up. He's upstairs last I saw. Hey, fuck you. What was the last you saw, Maddie? Tell me. Why are you like this? What was it? Last saw him walking upstairs. So he could be anywhere then. Probably fled the country to dodge the massive time debt you lot are racking up. Can't go far. I've got him on a pretty tight leash. And in regards to the debt... It's not your problem. You must not have heard. Not your problem. Jay, your dickhead friend Ned is here. Oi, I'm a distinguished gent, not a dickhead. I'll be down in a sec. Yeah, sure, but you also work for the... That's probably why they don't like him very much. Yeah, sure, but you also work for the Council of Death. So if you are a distinguished gent, it cancels out. Is the Council of Death like a normal city council, except for whatever dead people live? Yeah, but the only trash that needs to be collected is right in front of me. This guy? Me? No. You. You're the trash, Ned. The trash is you. It's you, Ned the trash man from hell. 'Cause councils pick up trash. That's the joke. Oh, cool. He's even got a head shaped like a rubbish bin. It's totally fitting. I'm not from hell. I don't care. And to be clear, Ned, in case we weren't already, you are the trash. Yeah, I get it. You know how long Shay's gonna be? Don't know. He was busy upstairs with Ashley. Oh, geez, hi. Yeah, I had to hide like 5 steak knives from her. I didn't even know we had 5 steak knives. Bit quiet there, mate. How long you been sitting there? Doesn't matter. Well, your employee's being very rude to me. So if you'd heard any of that... I keep trying to tell him. Ah, my employee. Yeah. We have some catching up to do. I don't follow. Did she quit? Did you fire her for gross incompetence? Far from it. There's been a bit of shakeup in the cafe's management structure since you last visited. Oh no. Don't tell me you gave her the whole thing. Okay, I won't tell you. I tried to tell you before, man. Does anyone else? Keisha, maybe just sit this one out. Was there something you wanted to discuss? I need a drink before we go through all that. Sure. The usual. Yes, please. Jesus Christ. How come he gets a curly straw? So, Che, spin me a tale of how and why you handed the cafe to this person. Well, every man's got his price. Can my price be a curly straw too? Buddy, I'll give you 2 if it means you'll stop complaining about numb lips. Yeah, what did you make this with? I couldn't find half the ingredients, so I put a bunch of baju and, chili seeds? It's got some of the stuff though, so it's a mint julep and spirit if nothing else. Does this have any mint or julep in it? At all? It definitely may be lacking mint, and I cannot confirm or deny the existence of the mythical julep. You asked for baju earlier though, so there you go, mission complete. Maddie, I'm getting very drunk very fast. Baju will do that to you. Here, I think you should lie down. I'll get you some water. Fucking Jesus Christ. Gishin, my dude, you absolutely need to get horizontal as soon as possible. I have unironically said that before when I've been drinking. I need to get horizontal as soon as possible. I'll fight ya, I'll win though. Up you go, mate. Bloody hell. It would have been helpful if you told me about this before. Probably. I'm not worried about it. Maddie knew what she was getting into with this whole cafe situation. It's natural that it might take a while for her to get the hang of running a business. Bloody hell. What if a dog's dogs! I did see Dog's Dinner. In the opening, I did see Dog's Dinner. The keen eyes. Bit of a dog's dinner though, isn't it? Oh, for sure. But it'll get better. Like I said, nothing to worry about. Well, you might want to hold your judgment on that for the moment. I am unfortunately here on official business. Oh. I shouldn't have given you the straw then. No, you shouldn't have. I look quite silly. Want me to get rid of it? It's just Maddie. She won't use it to derail our conversation or make me look like a fool or anything like that. Straw? No, I'll get you one after you have a nap. You sip the water like a normal person. I'll put it with the dirty dishes then. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure, whatever. Magic, why not? That shouldn't shock me. We've already gone through so much. Sacrifices I make for this job. Hey, you met me through it, so it can't have been all bad. That was bloody 100 years ago. Man, really? Longer. Time flies when you're immortal, huh? Quasi-immortal. Old Rust Bucket's still got an expiry date somewhere down the line. What's this about immortality? Hey, you should buy more plants. Shut up. Sorry, continue. Immortality. Nothing that I trust you with, that's for sure. Oh, don't want to see crotchety old me being rude to youngsters in 100 years? Truly, I do not. The far future doesn't need amateur necromancers. Your loss. So, you heading upstairs? Actually, Ned does, in fact, have something fairly important to discuss with you. Oh. It's about the debt you owe. To the council? Yeah, I know. What about it? Maddie, it's time. You owe us over 600 hours. Jay signed a contract. The hours or the cafe? You own the cafe, so you own the debt. And tonight, I've come to collect. The shorts. So shit, we're actually getting, like, the intro. So we have 1 day to get 600 hours worth of debt? Or we lose the cafe. Eesh. I want to see this. I want to get the vibes. I have to wonder if resurrecting people has something to do with getting hours from them. Okay. The robots! I'm just set up for this. Do we get interludes between each chapter from the robots? I would love that if true. That was kind of intense. Do they do that often? The song and dance thing? Yeah, what do they think they are? Some sort of anime street gang? What sort of selfish jerk has their own theme song? Don't be a downer, pal. No, I was talking about the dramatic encounter. Oh, between Maddie and Ned. Yeah. Yeah, they've got chemistry. Not the romantic kind, the explosive kind. Can't leave them in the same room together or they'll kill each other. Bad history? Maddie's just a seriously troublesome person from Ned's perspective. Doesn't help that she can't stop herself from pulling pranks on him. Oh, ad break in 20 seconds, by the way. No, I suppose not. I mean, he doesn't make it easy, either. I don't think he's used to having his authority questioned. She really gets under his skin. Wasn't he a famous criminal? And therein lies the irony of the situation. What a strange world we live in. I like you robots. I like you funny little robots. We get another interlude? This shouldn't be a depressing memory for any of us. I do get another interlude. Doodle mode is now available. You can now speak to Ashley to access Doodle mode. Oh, we have the second floor now. Okay. Billiards 1. Delicate operation. Advisory role. Maddie's inbox. Keep the balance. Oh, we can't go downstairs. Okay. So we only have the upstairs this time. Let's start reading through stuff. The Fisherman 2. Okay, cool. I do want to continue this one. The expression on Jack's face was expectant when Maddie came out of the kitchen carrying his plate. Expectant, but not impatient. The expression fit his posture, sitting upright with his hands folded and rested in front of him. Your halibut's ready. Jack's eyebrows raised when Maddie set the plate down in front of him. He closed his eyes and lowered his chin just a tad, allowing the scent of grilled fish to waft into his nostrils as he drank in the odor. After several moments passed, a smile crawled into his face and he grabbed a fork and began cutting the halibut up. He was several mouthfuls in when Maddie spoke up. I got the fish, Blinky. Fuck yes. I love it. Thought you said you weren't gonna eat it. Couldn't help myself. It smelled too good not to give it a taste. Tasted too good to stop. I couldn't help but notice the hesitation. Jack held up the fork, which had a piece of fish speared on it. You know, a fish like this, you never know what kind of memories it's gonna bring up. Not all memories are good, but this fish tastes like an adventure. Conquest. You fish much? You could say that. I made it out, on the water several times each day, or each year. Catch any big ones? Lots, I'm sure. But I'm more of a quantity over size kind of person. The most important weight is your tally at the end of the day. I'm not the patient kind of fisherman. Where'd you learn to be so patient if not from fishing? Fishing's the only time I'm not a patient man. Funny. I tend to hear the opposite from a lot of people. I take really long vacations. That's when you fish? That's when I don't fish. Ah, you're a fish tradesman. Better known as a fisherman. But yeah. Could have led with that, you know. Didn't I? Well, like I said, I don't get out of the water very often. Or on the water very often. And yet it's your profession. I think that would mean more days on the water. Such is life in Alaska. Fishing season gets shorter every year. Ah, of course. Halibut are seasonal. You only catch them when they migrate, is that it? It's the kind of business that's only open a few days out of the year thanks to Mother Nature. Thanks to the government. In 1970, halibut season was 150 days long. Then it got shortened to 100. You only work 100 days out of the year? No, ma'am. 100-day halibut season was before my time. By the time I found myself on that side of the Pacific, they were down to fishing derbies. Actually, that's what got me out there. Derbies? All you can catch for 24 hours. They're spaced out. Fishing season is just a few days a year now. Can you make a living doing that? You can catch a lot of fish in one day. That's why they had to shorten the season. It doesn't take very many skiffs on the water before you have a problem with overfishing. I was sold on the promise of working for several days out of the year and being able to come back home and live the good life the 360 days out of the years I didn't have to work. He grinned in a way that suggested he wanted Maddie to prompt further. Did Alaska deliver on that promise? Is America truly a land where the streets are paved with gold? Streets are paved with gold, even though I'm told there's black gold to be found in Alaska. But yes, Alaska did deliver what it promised. I worked several derbies a year, and I made enough to live pretty well. I just skipped the part where I was supposed to come back home. What's the matter? Didn't you set sail back to Australia? Afraid of getting seasick? No, ma'am. You met someone who convinced you to stay? A few someones. You spend some time working a skiff with someone, that's the kind of bond you don't find easily. It's not the kind of thing you give up easily. That kind of bond, working only a few days out of the year. It's intense. It's like being in the line of duty. It's a little like going to war. War against the fish. War against the sea. When it's all you can catch for 24 hours, you don't have time to be safe. When the day arrives, you're out in the water, no matter the weather. And those skiffs are no large boats. For every 1,000 fishermen that go out, 997 come back. Firefighters have better odds than that. Soldiers have better odds than that. So yeah, it's a bit like going to war. He looked down at the fish in front of him for a moment. There were some times I could swear I could smell death on the water. Every time you pulled up to shore with a boat full of fish and the same number of men you left with, it was a giant middle finger to death's face. He broke into a grin. In those moments, you never feel more at home. When you have that kind of experience with someone, you don't fuck off to spend a year in Australia, you know? He tapped his chest. I'm one of them now. Jack looked around and Maddie realized it was the first moment she'd seen Jack really take notice of the space he was in. His eyes squinted as he scanned the shelves behind her and the people at the tables around him. But I ended up here. I always knew I would be here sooner or later. Oh, that's the end of it. So he realizes he's dead. I didn't walk past one over here, did I? Billiards. Brad. Brad took a sip of his beer. It was non-alcoholic, but there was something about the dry aftertaste that kept him frosty. He leaned over the table and lined up his next shot. He eyed the problematic 9-ball in the upper right corner. He had a low percentage shot on it if he elected to bank it, but he had 2 other stripes in the lower left to set it up. If he had an audience, he'd go for the bank shot for sure. He liked the chance to shine. But today, there was no one to impress, no audience for flashy low percentage shots. He took the shots on the 11 and 12, and 3 shots later, sunk the 9. An easy shot on the 8 sealed the deal. Brad scanned the table. 4 solid balls remained, a dismal performance on his part. Or a stellar performance on the part of a stripes player. That was the problem with playing a game against yourself. You always won, but you always lost, too. Brad chugged the remainder of his beer and added it to his collection of empties, which now stood 5 bottles strong. He took a moment to survey the room. His table was the only of the 4 that were in use. That didn't come as any surprise to him. It was early in the evening. He had grown accustomed to spending time alone in this room. He knew when he could come here to be alone, and when the other sharks showed up. Sharks. Brad grabbed the triangle. It was looped around his collection of beer bottles to set the balls in order for another round. Someone came up the stairs, and Brad looked up briefly, long enough to see a woman who he recognized as the dour-faced barkeep who had served him the beers that kept him company for the past hour or 2. Several steps behind the woman, he saw an older-looking man. The man stopped in front of the table opposite of Brad's and began chalking up his cue. Brad directed his attention to the man. He usually offered people a game when they came up, but the man seemed prepared to keep to himself, so Brad said nothing and tried to focus on his own table. He set up the break, and the older man coughed as he shot. He hit the cue ball just a fraction of a degree off. It bounced off the rack into one of the side pockets as the rest of the balls jostled the table. Stink. Brad didn't swear when playing. He didn't swear when playing pool. I love that quirk. His earliest experience with competitive billiards had been in an environment that forbade obscenities and issued foul penalties every time someone let out involuntary shit or fuck. He had to find cleaner substitutes. Oh shit, I exited out of it. No, let me back in. I like hit my water bottle on on my keyboard. Break came the sound from the old man's table. 2, 3, 4. Brett put down his break cue and picked up the leather-tipped cue that was leaning against the table. 5, 6. Brett chalked his cue, trying to avoid the tilt from his bad break. 7, 8. He lined up to shoot and realized that the man was already fishing his balls out of the pockets and collecting them in the triangle. Brad did a double take. The man sunk the 8-ball after 8 strokes, including break. Brad continued playing his own table, kept an eye on the older man this time. It happened again. Break. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A perfect clean sweep. As the old man began clearing the table, Brad walked over. "Excuse me," he said, "but I couldn't help but notice you just hit 2 perfect games." "What's that?" The man turned to Brad, squinting at him. Brad repeated himself a bit louder this time. "I was just complimenting you on your 2 perfect games. Impressive stuff." The man heaved his shoulders. "Sometimes you get a bit of luck on your side." "Still, you don't see novices hitting 2 consecutive perfect games." The man offered another ineffectual shrug. "Do you want to play a game?" Brad gestured to his own table, which was already set up. "Most of the people who come around here tend to be novices. I've been itching for a bit of competition." Brad paused, but the man said nothing. "Of course, if you'd prefer to play your own table, I don't mean to intrude." "We can play," said the man. "Though if I can shoot perfect a 3rd time, you won't get to. I'd be impressed if you could pull that off." The old man racked the balls and stepped away from the table to let Brad break. Brad leaned over the table and took several practice strokes before finally connecting with the cue ball. The break was weaker than he had expected, but he managed to sink 1 ball. He looked at the table annoyed and realized that he hadn't bothered to check if the rack was frozen before he broke. His next shot was a straight into the middle pocket. He briefly visualized the trajectory of the cue ball in his mind. It would easily knock the 6th ball in and then bounce toward the front of the table. Brad wasn't confident of where exactly the ball would stop, but he was confident he'd be able to do something with it. He took the shot and the 6th ball went in. Solids. After the cue ball settled, he found himself with no good options. Brad smiled. Making something out of nothing was his specialty, and after a few moments of eyeing different angles, he settled on a shot towards the bottom pockets. A striped ball was in the way, so Brad hit the cue ball several degrees to the side, curving its trajectory around the enemy ball. It hit the solid 3 ball and the shot was made. Brad looked at the man, hoping for some kind of reaction. The man's mouth remained a flat line, but his eyebrows arched. If anything, the man's lack of obvious expression struck him as a deliberate attempt to not show a response. That he had managed to get a slight rise of the old man felt like a sweet victory. Brad made his next shot quickly, an easy straight-in shot on the 2 ball, maybe without thinking about where the cue ball would land. That was a problem for future Brad. But several seconds later, present Brad found himself scolding past Brad for putting him in such a foul position. He was corner hooked. With the cue ball trapped next to the corner pocket, the only angles available to Brad existed in a 60-degree arc. He surveyed his limited options and breathed a sigh of relief as a relatively straightforward bank shot presented itself. It was an awkward angle, but he knew he could coax the 3 ball into the opposite corner pocket. He took the shot, watching as the 3-degree ball rolled complimentary into its designated pocket. Unfortunately, the cue ball went with it, ending Brad's turn and placing the ball in the man's possession. Ah, stink. Brad could have sworn the man winked at him as he fished the cue ball out and lined up a simple shot on the side pocket. The 9 went in, then the 11, and the 12. Brad found himself taking it for granted that each striped ball would enter its designated pocket and instead focus on the cue ball. Somehow the cue ball always wound up in the position that presented the oldster with the ideal chip shot. Ball after ball fell off the bed until finally only the black 8 ball and Brad's solids remained. Fortunately for Brad, the 8 ball and the cue ball were at opposite sides of the table, or several of Brad's in between. The man eventually gave up and settled for a defensive shot that put the cue ball right behind the 8. Now the tables were turned. Brad was the one cut off from his balls. He lived for shots like this. He took the shot. The cue ball hit the 8, and the 8 hit the 1, and the 1 hit the 7, bouncing against the front of the table and into one of the side pockets. Brad couldn't help but smile. Things couldn't have gone better if he'd planned them. Instinct and muscle memory did what his calculating mind couldn't. Now that the fact this is a multi-part story is fascinating to me. Now that the table was conveniently free of straight balls, Brad had no trouble sinking the remaining consecutive shots he needed to close out the game. As Brad lined up the final shot on the 8 ball, he studied the older guy. If the man was reacting, he couldn't tell. Brad had closed his eyes as he completed the final stroke as he always did. He wasn't really religious. He stopped going to church with his mom when he was 12. It always felt right to leave the result of the game to God. Damn, said the old man, as the 8 ball fell into its pocket. Brad flinched. He'd been hoping for some praise from the man for winning the game. Perhaps a damn was all that the man was prepared to offer. Excuse me, said Brad, but I don't think we bothered to exchange names. I'm Brad. Thomas, the old man extended a hand. Gotta say, you're quite a player. I take it you're not from around here. No. Grew up in Brisbane, retired in Sydney. I'm just passing through. Brad nodded. I figured. I actually grew up in this neighborhood. Played on the tables just like this when I was a kid, so I know most of the folks on the local competitive circuit. I guess someone like you would have to play competitively, huh? You don't pick up skills like that in a tiny pond. You'd be surprised, said Thomas. A man can accomplish quite a bit when given enough idle time. But you have played competitively, said Brad. I used to, yes. I actually formally retired many years ago, but kept a table at home for practice to keep my mind sharp. Where did you compete? Oh, I toured in England. Wait, you were a pro? A pro makes a salary. I won enough to cover my travel expenses, and to make up for the time I spent not working a real job. Brad couldn't hide his excitement. Wait, you said England? You ever play in the World Billiards Championship? Yep. Played the WBC for a few years, but eventually I decided the title was a summit I'd never reach, so I quit. Wait, you said your name was Thomas. Are you Thomas Walsh? Indeed I am. You're a legend. I think you might be overstating it. Even when I was at my prime, I was not the best. results speak for themselves. Ah, fuck that. You're a finalist for 6 years running. Nobody's ever been that consistent. Even the best pros who managed to run burn out after more than 2 or 3 years. Thomas sipped his beer. I spent hundreds of hours watching your videos. I didn't realize there were videos of me. I have tapes from the finals from 1967 and 1968. They didn't record them before that, but your last 2 years got recorded for posterity. They're kind of rarities at this point, but I had a coach read a vault of the old footage. Coach? Thomas arched an eyebrow. Yeah, you didn't have a coach? Thomas shook his head. We mostly just taught ourselves and each other. Sometimes you got to practice with people better than you, but that was it. Well, I mostly taught myself, but after I started winning some regionals, I joined a team so that I could get sponsored and have a group to train with. Interesting. Brad waited for Thomas to question further, but no question came, so he decided to continue without invitation. I won the WBC in 2012. No luck since then, I take it. Yeah. He laughed, awkward. I've never been a consistent player. Not like you, anyway. He offered a sheepish grin. My mom had an album full of article clippings talking about me like I was some kind of prodigy, the next big thing. Now it feels like I'll forever be a footnote in history. Brad waited for the words of affirmation to come from his... Dude, he is fishing for praise from this dude. Thomas just took another drink from his glass, finishing it before setting it down next to Brad's empty bottles. Can I get you a drink in exchange for another game? Be a real pleasure. Sure. Get me a Guinness. Actually, make it 2. Brad sprinted down the stairs and returned several minutes later with a tray bearing 2 pints of Guinness. Thomas began setting up for the table for the next game, Brad hovering over him. You know, this place is pretty magical. You had to play a game of pool like this. Wasn't sure how to say it, but figured Thomas knew what he was getting at. I mean, this is the sort of place where anything can happen, you know what I'm saying? Not anything. There are limits. Well, yeah, but still, 2 former champs, one coming back from, well, beyond the grave, so to speak. That's the kind of encounter you expect to have anywhere else. Thomas looked at him. Magical indeed. When I walked up here, I didn't realize that you were, well, he rubbed his chin. Let's just say I don't meet a lot of pool pros at bars. Well, one of you's dead. He took a sip of his beer. You want a break? Sure. Brad broke, and with hands guided by instinct, managed to sink 5 balls consecutively. Like magic, his shots always connected. Some people might buckle under pressure, but Brad's performance always seemed to rise to the occasion. With just 2 striped balls left, Brad knew he was on a streak. But as he lined up his next shot, he took a moment to consider the position of the 8 ball. It was nestled in an awkward position behind Thomas's balls, but if he could clear a path to it while sinking the last stripe. Brad looked at the sea of balls and knew there was no way for him to mentally calculate every vector, but instinct had gotten him this far, and he wasn't going to stop listening to it now. Brad took the shot, and the cue ball knocked the last striped ball into the corner pocket. Then the cue ball bounced off the table, back towards Thomas's cluster of balls. Brad grinned in elation as the cue ball hit it with a solid, which hit another, and a chain reaction sent the 8 ball heading right towards the corner, just like he wanted. It was headed right towards the corner, where there was no balls to intercept it. It was headed right toward the corner, into the pocket. He stopped grinning. Brad knew with a growing dread that the friction of the cloth wouldn't be enough to stop the ball in time. He watched the impending disaster happen in slow motion, powerless to stop it. The game had been going so well. He was about to hit a perfect game in front of his childhood hero, and now he was going to lose it in the most inglorious way imaginable, an accidental illegal combination shot. Brad closed his eyes, but not even God could help him now. He didn't need to see it. The sound of the ball plunking into the pocket was enough. He lost the game. Oh, that's where that one ends? Wild. Okay. God damn. That was long as hell for billiard. Delicate operation. Maddie and Ashley. Okay. Advisory role. Also Ashley. Ashley stepped behind the counter and winced as the floor creaked under her feet. Maddie was nowhere to be seen, but Maddie did possess a remarkably sharp sense of hearing. Luckily, the cafe was empty as Ashley tiptoed to the case where Maddie kept the baked goods. Ashley lifted the glass lid off the case and closed her eyes as the scent of yesterday's lamingtons wafted up and overwhelmed her. Ashley had spent most of her life convinced that she didn't like coconut, but that had changed the day that Che introduced her to lamingtons. To be fair, Ashley still wasn't sure that she actually liked coconut. Chocolate frosting can make anything taste good, but she couldn't deny the cake's irresistible allure. Ashley lifted a lamington from the case and gently set the lid back down. She raised the lamington to her lips and opened her mouth to take a bite. Ashley. In a moment of panic, Ashley shoved the pastry into her mouth and sealed her lips. Her mouth was quickly overwhelmed by the pastry's thick frosting covering. She did her best to choke it down before turning to face Maddie. Said Ashley, hoping that her cheeks didn't betray what was inside. Ah, good, you're here. It was a bad sign anytime Maddie expressed pleasure at seeing Ashley. Normally, Maddie wavered between being annoyed by Ashley's presence and being indifferently intolerant of her. Anytime Maddie was happy to see Ashley, it meant work. I need you to deliver something to Che for me, said Maddie, turning to the counter to pick up a small bottle of something. As Maddie turned her attention to the bottle, Ashley took advantage of her momentary distraction to gulp down the remainder of the pastry. No time to chew, but her teeth wouldn't have done much good with the thick frosting. You're not busy, are you? Said Maddie. Ashley shook her head no. The pastry was no longer inside her mouth to create a conspicuous bulge of cheeks, but opening her mouth would reveal the thick chocolate frosting that was still probably present on her teeth, so she kept her lips sealed. Good. He's upstairs. Get this to him ASAP. She handed the bottle to Ashley, and Ashley found herself surprised by how light the bottle was. Looking down, she could see that the bottle had thin walls. Within those thin walls, it contained some clear liquid, and its seal was held in place with a metal clamp. Hermetically sealed. Ashley turned towards the stairs, holding the neck of the bottle in one hand and let out a sigh. One last thing. Ashley swallowed her sigh with a gulp and closed her mouth before facing Maddie, lips tightly shut. Be careful not to drop it. Thousands could die if you spill any of it. In any other situation, Ashley would have asked Maddie a probing question to figure out what was in the bottle, or get some idea of the significance of the task that she had been assigned. Significant enough that thousands of lives held in the balance, but apparently not important enough for Maddie to do it herself. But Ashley's lips remained sealed, and she merely nodded and turned around. Lamingtons were not meant to be consumed in a single bite, especially by mouths as small as Ashley's, and the thickness of the frosting that lingered in her mouth and throat made her desperate to ask for some kind of drink, but she dared not ask for one. Ashley looked down at the bottle, unsure of the best way to carry it. The bottle was slightly too large for her to hold in just one hand, and grasping in front of it with her two hands felt awkward. The bottle was heavy, but Ashley's confidence in her ability to carry the bottle without dropping it was less than perfect. She cradled it under her arm protectively. No, that seemed like it put her at greater risk of fumbling the bottle. The crook of her elbow wasn't as dexterous as her fingertips. She settled for carrying the bottle with one hand placed under the bottom to hold the weight, and the other wrapped around the neck to steady it. Ashley walked slowly with the bottle as she ascended the stairs. Maddie hadn't told her the liquid was volatile, and the bottle was hermetically sealed. Oh my god, my voice is starting to go. Dying. So there was zero chance of anything spilling out, but that didn't change the sense of trepidation Ashley felt. Armed with the knowledge that there were potentially thousands of lives at stake, she cringed every time she saw the liquid sloshing inside the bottle, leaping up and lapping at the edges of the seal. Ashley realized her arms were shaking and pressed the bottle against her chest, hoping to steady it. As Ashley's hand shook nervously at the bottle held against her chest, she wondered if the large amount of sugar she had just forced down her throat had something to do with the shaking. It was more likely that her shaking was the result of being told that thousands of lives could be lost if she dropped the bottle. Still, the lingering taste of the pastry in her mouth didn't help. Ashley silently lamented the fact that she had been forced to consume the lamingtons so abruptly. Lamingtons were a treat to be savored, not shoved into one's mouth in a moment of panic. She didn't even have a chance to properly enjoy it. It was hard to simultaneously feel the pleasure of a tasty treat and the panic of being caught. Whatever the outcome of this error, she had wasted a wonderful pastry. Several agonizing minutes later, Ashley arrived at the top of the stairs and spotted Che standing at the handrail. As she walked up, Che turned to face her and presented him with the bottle. Ashley cleared her throat of any lingering stickiness before speaking. Maddie said you needed this. Ah, good. I was running low. Ashley gasped with relief as Che took the bottle from her and started taking deep, labored breaths, suddenly becoming aware of how high her heart rate was. Che opened the bottle, opened the seal on the bottle, and splashed some of it onto a rag. Several drops dripped on the floor, and Ashley let out a terrified squeak. Something wrong? Maddie said that thousands of lives could be destroyed by what's in that bottle. Well, that's the idea. As he unfolded the rag and ran along the railing. Oh, it's disinfectant. That overlooked the cafe's ground level. This is supposed to kill 99.9% of all bacteria. That still leaves hundreds of bacteria alive, but I try not to think too hard about that part. Ashley's jaw dropped. It's disinfectant? Yeah. Why did Maddie not tell you? Ashley's shoulders slumped in a mixture of relief and exasperation. She only told me it would kill thousands. And you didn't ask what she meant by that? No. I was preoccupied. Huh. He turned his attention back to the railing, inspecting it for a moment before continuing to wipe it. Ashley turned to head back downstairs. By the way, Ashley? Ashley turned to face Che. He reached out and placed a finger on her shirt, wiping off a bit of frosting. He raised it to his finger and smelled it. Chocolate? He said. Yes. One of Maddie's Lamingtons? Yes. Che nodded and licked the frosting off his finger. Go downstairs and bring one up for me too, will you? I wanted to read the rest of these interactions before wrapping up tonight, but my throat is starting to die. Which is a shame, because I think I have 2 of them? 3 of them. I have to read Maddie's email too. But my throat is starting to go from all the reading. I'm chugging my water. Maybe her email won't be that long. Let's see if her emails have much going on. We'll skim these ones like we did the reviews. Subject, Spirit Beacon leaking. Hey Madeline, this is Jeanette from the location down by the docks. I believe we met in person for the first time last month. I was opening up this morning and noticed most of our spirit juice was gone. Checked the map and saw that you're the nearest location of a spirit beacon. I think you may have drained some of our supply. Honest mistake, I'm sure. But if you stop running your spirit beacon during peak hours, that would be appreciated. Thanks, looking forward to working with you in the future, Jeanette. RE spirit beacon leaking. Hi, Madeline. Hope you got my previous message. Just wanted to give you an update on the spirit juice situation over here. I had several bottles that I marked last night just to confirm the issue. When I got in this morning, the levels were below where I marked them. We're definitely losing spirit juice, and you're the only spirit beacon close enough to be affecting us. Please moderate your use to reasonable levels. I don't think this should be a problem as long as you're not running your beacon overnight. Again, not trying to assign blame here, but please be considerate to folks at other locations. Stop running your bullshit. Madeline, we are drinking spirit juice over here so fast that if I sit and watch, I can see it disappearing from the bottle. You're the only spirit beacon that's even remotely close to where we are, and we really need you to stop. It's affecting us, and it's probably affecting other locations. This is completely unacceptable. Fix it now. Madeline, can you explain why you weren't at the terminal today when I showed up? I spoke to a girl named Ashley, spelled wrong, who said you decided to take the day off. What a coincidence. I was not impressed by the crying routine you had her do. Honestly, you should be ashamed of using a child's fake tears to try and hide from a situation that you caused. Turn off your beacon. I don't want to be the bad guy here, but if you don't do something, I'm gonna have to get the council involved. Clarence is a different person. Misplaced cutlery. Hey Maddie, this is Clarence from the docks location. Just wanted to give you a heads up. This morning found out the site manager recently hired. I believe you met Janet last month, was leaving spirit juice in untempered glass balls. We had a bit of a leak. We ended up having a bit of a problem with some animated cutlery. Oh, maybe that's where our cutlery is going. We got the situation under control over here. We're mostly sure everything's accounted for on our end. Fortunately, it started happening about a week ago, which might be enough for someone to wander off that we wouldn't be able to detect it. Very unlikely that this happened, but we just wanted to give you a heads up in case a possessed steak knife wandered off far enough to find your beacon and decides it wants to pay you a visit. Sorry about the situation. Rest assured that the person responsible for this won't have any opportunities to mess up anything of this magnitude again. By the way, are you planning on going to M's birthday next month? Oh, I will. From Maddie. Oh, this is Maddie's response. Sorry, I missed your message earlier. I no longer use this address. Please use contact me for anything related to terminal business. Hope you enjoyed M's birthday party. I don't remember why I couldn't attend, but I'm sure it was a good reason. Jesus Christ. So there's a spirit beacon that attracts fucking ghosts and ghoulies here. And also does something to something called spirit juice. Fascinating. How do I save? Oh, Act 1, Act 2. Assume it's the tree. Oh, good point. How do I save? I'm so confused. Sorry, this is cause yeah, I can load the previous, but I don't want to load I want to save. Cannot save during the in-betweens. Because I don't think my voice has it in me to read 2 more of these long things. Caution cleaning in process. I mean, probably worst comes to worst, I can just, like, save if I quit. I mean, if this just quits, it's probably fine. Here, let's go to the title screen. Let me see what my reload options are, and we'll figure it out from there. From your previous checkpoint. Okay, where does this load me? Because if it just loads me back into the in-between between chapters, then like perfect. We can start the next stream by just finishing those last 2 before continuing. Perfect. Okay, it does just load us straight into the interim. Perfect. Cool. Okay, so we just have 2 to read next time. We have to read the advisory one and then that menu one. I think that's it. I don't think there's any more of them hidden around. I'm assuming reading this opens up the downstairs to go back down and do stuff downstairs. Which maybe there'll be more stories downstairs, but next week I will be rejuvenated and my voice won't hurt because I won't be 2.5 hours into a very talking heavy stream. Oh, these visual novels, they take it out of me. My poor vocals. I need to like, whenever I do reading heavy streams, I need to like make tea and like prep my voice or something so my poor vocal cords don't explode. Oh, my hand's freaking out. I should use this hand instead. It picks up better on camera. Ooh. It picks up better on camera, I say, as it explodes. Tea helps a ton. I'm really like I didn't think of it for today, to be honest. But I think if for next week I'm gonna have like tea and water together, so that I have like tea to help relax my throat and stuff like that from all the reading. I'm learning. Gotta get some other people in here to voice characters. God, yeah, I shouldn't play visual novels unless I have at least one other person to take the burden of character voices from me. Maybe I can rope Noelle into doing this, and Noelle can take the burden of voicing like most of these characters. I'll voice Maddie, and someone else can voice literally any other human being that appears. And then these streams can be way longer, because my vocal cords won't explode. I need to like generally try and find ways, because like, here's the thing, talking's not the problem. Y'all have been here for streams where I will just talk for like 6 to 12 hours straight, and like I'll be pretty good. But just something about like visual novel streams or like having to like voice acts and stuff, like it just like makes my vocal stamina deplete faster. I have no idea why, but I have noticed that. I know this about me. I'm enjoying this so far. I find it's quite interesting, and I feel like we're kind of still getting to the point where the plot's gonna pick up because we like just hit the intro card and everything before this interim between the chapters. But we'll pick up and finish up any of the side content reading next time, and then hopefully get through, say, chapter 3 and 4. Depending on my stamina, we'll probably get through 2 or 3 chapters per stream, I'm thinking, if the lengths kind of stay consistent. But we'll see. But I will depart now just so my voice doesn't give out while I'm trying to read some stuff. Let me see if there's anyone I can raid. There's no one online. Is there a bee online? No one I'm following is online, but that doesn't mean there's not bees online. There's Nimda. Nimda's doing Deltarune. And Nini's doing Last of Us. 1 second, I am also clearing a few notifications, as I am one to do. Alright, lesson learned for next time. Definitely prep T. T will save me, I think. T will heal me and save me. Let's see. How long has Nimda been going? Is Nimda gonna end soon? If not, we're into Nimda. Nimda's not playing Delzer. Nimda is now playing The Quarry. God, that game. I need to play that game on stream. I started playing it like once for Halloween, and I was thrown off by how like how bad it was for me personally. Like I was like, oh yay, the people who made Until Dawn, yippee, yippee, and then I started playing it. I was like, oh wow, this is noticeably worse, but like in a really fun way. But I felt like I was going crazy playing it alone. I was like, I need the validation of another human being playing with me, that I'm not just a loser, or like I'm just not like a hard ass, and this does kind of actually like suck. Oh, I gotta play The Quarry sometime. I think it'll be a good laugh. Maybe play it with Paul or something. Oh my goodness. All right, folks. I am gonna send you off to Nimda, who is now just starting The Quarry. She's very early on and stuff, so if you don't know anything about that game, you should be able to kind of pick up some context clues if you want to stick around and watch that. Either way, be chill, be good, say hi to Nimda. Do whatever you like. I'm now releasing you into the wild, and what you do when I let you go is always your decision, so... Have a good night, folks, and thank you for anyone who is hanging out or lurking during this chiller game time. I'm digging Necrobarista so far. I'm excited to see where the story might go on it and stuff. But I'll see you guys on Sunday for, Date Everything. Oh my god, I actually forgot what playthrough I was doing on Sunday. Date Everything. Date Everything is on Sunday, and then Monday is Yakuza. And I remember these things, and I'm on the ball with it. Awesome. Alright, have a good night, folks. I need to go to bed. I'm fading fast, apparently. Bye. I will see you guys on Sunday. Goodbye.